Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
We are GMS New Orleans, here to bring you a live camp lesson. Live lesson. It's like a live lesson. Trying to get started on your infant knowledge and prayers too.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakudash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who taught us the truth, teaching citations, and hopefully let you Akim, you Akwat, brothers and sisters in Hebrew that believe. All right. And this lesson here is going to be inspired from the spirit of a documentary that pretty much just came out, on the anniversary down here in New Orleans of the 25th year of Katrina. It's on a Hulu 28 year slide, yeah, because we're in 2025, but yeah. So they got the documentary going out that kind of, dives deeper into the story of how, you New Orleanians were being treated, but ultimately how you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans were forsaken, by your country, your so-called country, But, if you just go through the documentary, you could just see how, Jake was just treated like animals, and how these devils had everything in their power to change the narrative with anything and everything and fuck over us at the end of the day, and it's a recompense. All right, obviously, our people deserve it, that still goes back to us disobeying the Lord, but still watching it, you still have that fire that'll light up in you and get pissed off when you still see, these devils messing with our people, But Bakusha, kick me off with that Zechariah.
This is Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8. It says, "For thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye."
And therefore it's a recompense, man. All right, obviously, again, it's righteous judgment that the Lord has done to us, putting us in this captivity, But at the end of the day, this is still our people. We still have some type of love and, get mad just like the Lord, when other nations, try to put try to put their foot down on us, right? Because we know that we are the Lord's people. We have that understanding, all right? But, this devil is not going to go unpunished from the things that he's been doing. This is just a small inkling. Speaking of Hurricane Katrina, we still got, 200 years ago with slavery, and many more accounts of this devil just being a fucking devil.
That's it. Like someone got to pay for these crimes. The Lord said in Romans chapter 12, I think around verse 19, that avenge not yourself. The Lord said he will repay. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So a payday is coming. Get ready to pay for these crimes. What was done to us, get ready to be done to them.
Yeah, first we get that in Revelations too. See that? You get that Proverbs for me, sure.
Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 21 said, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished.
The wicked shall not be unpunished. All right, so no matter how far you think that this world has advanced, again, 20 years since that happened, 200 years since, 200, 300 years since we was in chains, in slavery, you think, what the world would think is that, since we've grown past this and everything is all good, we all kumbaya and so on and so forth, that, we're supposed to just forget about these things and the wicked just go right off in the sunset, off of the things that they've done. But that's not the case. We're dealing with a balanced power, man. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is a balanced power. And at the end of the day, everybody didn't have their turn, but on the other side, everybody also had their foot on our necks. All right? And it's going to be a time that all this is going to have to come into a full 360, and we're going to be back on top, forever, So
you shall reap what you sow. So the wicked, you shall reap the same.
Yes, brother.
That's it.
You brother got research?
Yeah. This is the book
book of Isaiah 47 and verse 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge. It hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. Verse 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Come. That goes into what you're saying, that the Edomites won't get away with all the stuff that they've done over the years, over the 500 years of slavery, the Katrina thing, just experimenting on us. There's a recompense for that. You weren't gonna just do that wickedness, and Yahweh Shema Shai gonna pat you in the back and like, yeah, I know I sent you on, but I ain't gonna do nothing to you. Nah, man, it's a payback. You can help on the Lord life.
Yeah, and overall, though, yeah, I was gonna say overall, these devils, they pretty much overdid it. Yeah. That's one of the biggest things. Yeah, the Lord made them a whipping stick onto us, for correction to get us right. But the Lord didn't say nothing about, buck breaking, putting us in stables for us to make, with our own flesh and blood, just because we have the strong genes. This devil went completely overboard with things, man. Go ahead, brother.
Yes. Yeah, I love this one. I like this one right here. This second.
Hold on, real quick, because I want to back up a point. Bring that out. What you said when it said that Isaiah 47 and 10, with our wisdom and our knowledge, it had perverted thee, and thou had said in thy heart, that I am none else, neither none else inside of you. Which goes into the pride of the devil. Ultimately saying like, look, I did this. I'm a man that did it. They don't even acknowledge that it was the Most High who gave them the ability to do it. That's why it's set up in your heart to say, look, I am. It's none else beside me. And he actually thinks that he's the one making the moves. He don't even know that he's being controlled by the Most High, man. All right, and it's still, like the brother said, still gonna be a recompense for that. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, this is Zechariah 1:15, back up. You just said. It says, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
Just a little, Yeah, we pissed the Lord off, but the Lord has always returned and showed his face to us. When we came back and cried for him. Those people that righteously turned back into the Lord, kept his ears out listening, to help in the times of need. All right, but again, this devil, man, it's just things that he did is unforgivable. All right, and that's how you know it's a goddamn devil that we're dealing with. It's because how the hell do you expect all of these things to happen and just for us to just have a clean slate after this? Y'all is up the score on us like tremendously. This is not no even game where okay. We got y'all back. It's like, no, y'all ran it up and put us through hell. That people are traumatized to this day.
Yeah. And just like with the, you opened up with the whole Katrina thing, and definitely, you got brothers that have first-hand accounts of the shit that went on down here. All right, and which I sit there and watching it, I sit there and think about it as the Jacob's trouble before Jacob's trouble, man.
Yeah.
Because you had literally people being cast from their houses, right? You had literally, I remember I was a little boy, hearing the gunshots and shit get closer and closer every night. Seeing fucking what you call them, helicopters? Blackhawks, man. Like I was talking about on the phone with y'all earlier, Seeing fucking the Army, National Guard, and actual Marines, man, right? Getting out of helicopters and shit, man. You actually have a first-hand account of these things, man. You see? And the things that this devil was doing in those times, right, with like the elder brother going to all the time, with the night vision, having what's the name of that the the private militia, I can't
For the Blackwater.
Blackwater, you know, having Blackwater troops here,
Yeah.
you know. Well, that was Esau Edom's doing,
Yes,
right?
sir.
I'm talking to the brother earlier, you know, I didn't even know that they ran a prelude the year before.
Yeah.
A whole prelude of saying, oh, what we can do if this type of thing happens, and then next year the shit happens, man.
Yeah.
It was Pam thing. I think they was talking about it.
Mhm.
Some shit like that.
Yeah, and it was like basically like the practice exercise to what we would do if there was a big hurricane. And this how you know Esau Edom playing with that damn heart, man. You know,
Yeah.
That's it.
fucking experiment and shit.
Yeah. Test run, you know, for the real thing. You know, we see, you know, they always bring that order out of chaos, and also, you know they load up those levees and stuff. They cause a lot of things to happen. You know, so they constantly showing us, you know, left and right. The Lord is constantly showing us left and right who is your enemy. You know, the devil that the Bible speaks of, the so-called white man. You know, he's just getting started, and the Lord just getting started. So, but this is last time. This is gonna be his last time. So you know that Jacob trouble is coming upon us. So we already know the MO, the history of what this so-called red devil would do. So a lot of our people right now still asleep, but like they bringing us their Katrina because it's gonna be worse than Katrina.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gonna make it look like a walk in the park.
That's it.
Yeah. Katrina alone was like, if you go back and look at the time, crazy how long it was ago. You see how the TV and everything looked different, the color, everything just
20 years ago.
looked completely old, you know, compared to now. But, you know, just the tactics that they were using at that point in time, misinformation, you know, other things you talked about, the mini JT, they had the concentration camps,
Yeah.
Superdome, the convention center,
Yeah.
you know, they rooting you out of your house like you was going into.
If I could say, you know, because Jake remember that shit, man.
Yeah.
I remember, like we was talking about earlier. I remember when the sun went down, you couldn't see nothing, man.
Right.
You know, you put your hand in front of your face like that, you couldn't see a damn thing, man.
How agree with
You
that?
know, the grid was completely gone, and that's why we keep telling you that Jacob's trouble, it ain't gonna be no goddamn joke, man.
That's it.
The shit, man, it's gonna go haywire, man. You got it by now.
Yeah, you gotta add, you know, put the do the math, add it together, you know,
Pieces together.
put the pieces together. You'll see that if JT is a time of no trouble, and we witnessed something like this, that seemed like, you know, that would never happen again. If this is JT is actually gonna be worse than this,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna need the Lord in that day, man. You know, I see it as a sin. But, you know, it's ridiculous, you know, just speaking on the points of the misinformation and stuff. They had a point where they lied in there. This is like episode 3 or episode 4, that they lied and said that one of the helicopters that was going around saving people, that they had shot them down. And just because that helicopter unit that was out saving people off the roofs and stuff, they never responded because they were picking so many people up. So they just put out, after they said that people were shooting at the helicopters, they lied and said that they shot them down, and that's what led to more soldiers coming in and martial law.
I ain't get to that part yet.
Yeah, it get crazy. And they talk about martial law was there, but nobody said. So some people was living, some people in the law enforcement was going off of martial law. Soldiers coming in, they coming straight from the war, like that, you know what I'm saying?
Straight from Iraq.
Yeah, so
You get deployed from Iraq and going straight to New Orleans, man.
yeah.
What that tell you? You know? Go ahead, bro.
But the story that's behind it though, they telling them that they got snipers out here that's shooting people, that's looting, and so on and so forth. But you know, as you see, you know, Jake was out here looting, trying to get something to eat, get some water, you know.
Trying to survive.
Yeah. But again, so like, but you know, the devil put the spin on it. Then they showing all the news and stuff like that. He's telling them what you supposed to do. You supposed to shoot him down. You supposed to shoot him
That's
down.
it.
But that's the power that the devil holds to change the situation like that. To fuck over you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That's why you can never trust this devil.
You probably getting the number one, so we already know, we see what's going on in Washington D.C. You know, they already targeting the homeless. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they talking about the homeless. They talking about the people that have mental illness, but also people that have drug addiction. Same thing in New Orleans, like with the L. You know, a lot of them they didn't make it out there because you know it flooded out. They never come back to kill them. A lot of them was at the Superdome. They couldn't like tend to them. A lot of them couldn't walk. They couldn't get their medication. different things like that. What happened? They died.
They died.
See what I'm saying? So if they set the stage once again, but it's gonna be for Russell. If, because when they get round up all these homeless people, the so-called mentally ill people, you can look like you. If you think you got a mental problem, they just grab you up. They take you in these facilities. A lot of people they go unalive. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say it show you that in with the purge.
Yeah, that's it.
Them Skeletors.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
First period.
Yeah, them Skeletors.
Yeah.
And I seen like little clips and all that on like TikTok, even from the brother, giving their accounts, witnessing the raping that was going on, the sick people, what they was doing to the women and little girls and little children, unalive them, rape them, it was just. It's just sick, and that's just a prelude to JT, man. That's just one of those aspects of JT that's gonna happen, but on a whole wider scale.
Yes, I got you. Get that for me real quick.
This Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
It's a must. That's a great analogy that the Lord put there. That as iron rusted. Iron is bound to rust if it's out with the environment over time. So that being said, the wicked is always going to be the wicked, and it's nothing that you can do about it.
That's it.
All right. Overall, he's just going to become more and more of a devil. All right. Brother can get that too. Can a leper change his spots?
And iron, it's susceptible to rust.
Yep.
And then when something rusts and it gets completely corroded, the rust consumes whatever the iron, whatever, like a pipe or something. The rust winds up consuming it. So that's how this devil's wickedness is like nothing. It's just all out consuming and rampant. It's not gonna stop, man. It only gets worse.
It's just like a disease, that long disease. Long as
You want me to read right this?
You got more?
I can read. I can.
Good.
Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith.
Yeah.
All right, verse 13, I'll just read out. It says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast?
Yeah. What you expect at the end of the day. If you playing around with a wild beast and you playing with a serpent, in that case right there, and it bites you, they're not gonna look at you and be like, oh, poor you. It's like, what the fuck you doing? Why are you playing with it anyway? But that's how you're supposed to have that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to know, first and foremost who your enemy is, because they do have an enemy. Every creature on this earth has a rival enemy, within this entire thing that the Lord created. Ours just happen to be Esau Edom, the so-called white man, according to the scriptures. But again, you're not supposed to trust anything that this devil says. And again, bringing up the brother Kayak, because he was one of the brothers here that has that first person experience. He's telling me, he tells us in general of like all the things that was going on and how wicked the devil was getting. And this was before he was actually in the truth. All right, so now it's coming to now that the brother has the truth. He has that experience. That clicks more in his head of, I damn sure don't trust these devils now. I know exactly first person what they was doing here. And now they have the opportunity to do it now on a larger scale. That'd be stupid for anybody for them to change their mind, which a lot of our people did, went back into that docile state and was just like, oh no, this was just that natural disaster that happened. And everything all good. Let New Orleans rebuild. Steve Leeson, football. Saints, block the punt. Everything all good. We're the city that's never going to die. We're going to rebuild, and everything's going to be okay. But that's not the case, man. It's still a devil that operated and did the things that he did, that he used to pay for. But you got to
because, like you said, never trust thine enemy, right?
Right.
And Jake found out who the enemy was, and then turned it back on the enemy, man.
Right.
And stop thinking like, oh, this is my enemy once everything got all good.
Right.
You see, but this devil has a track record of being our enemy, all right, so since the beginning, man, since the womb, you know, since the Lord fighting, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna bring this out. The second Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 31. Just to give a little backstory. This is with Antiochus Epiphanes, man. All right, and we know the hell that he rained down on Jake, man. You know, so only imagine what Donald Nero Trump is getting ready to do as well. You know, it says 2 Maccabees chapter 7 verse 31, and thou hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews, shall not escape the hands of the Most High. For we suffer because of our sins, and though the living Lord be angry with us a little while for our chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servants.
Yeah. He's going to be one again with his servants.
That's
You
it.
know, again, we know, the things that we've done, and you got to respect, the way that the Lord operates and, how he ordained things to happen. All right. This is a punishment that, that we know we have to go through. But again, we know ultimately that this man is, when you watch this documentary, man, it really, I got a couple times chills shooting through my body, seeing the things that was going on, man. Seeing how this devil actually operates, but the narrative of the story of, how they are changing to make everything all calm and think that we're on the same team, But man, it's just completely bullshit.
Right. The Lord's making Esau bear his wrath. Shameful spirits upon his blood.
Yeah.
They're showing you all this wickedness right before your face, letting you know that this man right here is the devil. This man is getting ready to target the people of color, which is back in Israel, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indians. He's coming for you. You know what I'm saying? So I got one right quick. Psalm chapter 37. Oh, I'm slacking, man.
You good, ready to go? 33?
Yeah, where you ended off at.
It says, 2 Maccabees 7 and 33. It says, and though the living Lord be angry with us a little while for our chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servants.
Yeah, he's going to be, one again with his servants. Overall, this madness is going to be over like it was just a bad dream. All right, and that's the power that we have, man. We are blessed to say that Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is the living power of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. How much mercy that he got.
Yes, verse 34, it says, but thou, O godless man,
Yes.
and of all other the most wicked, be not lifted up, because nor puffed up. I was reading from the top.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
2 Maccabees 7 and 34, it says, but thou, O godless man, it's talking about who? Esau Edom, man.
That's it.
And of all other the most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up thy hand against the servants of the Most High. For thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of the Almighty God, who seeth all things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's smoke.
Yes, brother.
Yes, brother.
Yes.
It's like real quick, let me speak on it. It says, read that last part one more time.
Verse 35, it says, for thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of the Almighty Power, who seeth all things.
Yes, brother. And I believe they got another one in Psalm. Basically in the same boat of like surely that the Lord hasn't seen, or he's basically look up with y'all. But these devils think that they scot free, that they just escaped.
Oh, they're talking about the one they say thought that all together.
Yeah. So, that's one of my favorite ones, but I always forget exactly what it's at. But yeah, again, this devil think that he's scot free, that that he could ride off in the sunset after all this and think that everything is all great. But the Lord ain't forget this, man. He did not forget, and he won't forget. All right. it's mentioned that the Lord sees everything. You know, so he knows exactly, you know, what his devil is. You know, you can't run from the Lord. You can't run from his judgment. And you damn sure can't run from his vengeance. You know, like no. Again, I'm. That's my favorite song when I think of this off the movie The Warriors. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
That's it.
Yeah, come on, brother.
That's it.
Why would I get that from me?
The songs.
The song, yeah. And then we're gonna get.
I got all.
Yeah, go ahead real quick.
Come. This is the book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse 11. Thus says Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. Because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the places of Basra. And that goes into how Yahweh Bashim outside. You're gonna get that punishment, but the Lord said he ain't forget. You gotta pay for everything you did, including murdering millions upon millions of the children of Israel. The Lord ain't forget.
Yeah.
And he put names on them. He put the men of Teman, right? You know, it goes into, you know, you so-called Germans, right? What you call it? The smart ones, you know, because you know they got all of that. The scientists,
Yeah.
And then he put another to make sure he put Basra on it, man, which was the chief city.
That's it.
You know, you got that.
You know, but it's starting, you know, starts from the beginning, you know, of him having that perpetual hate against his brother. You know, after Jacob, Yaakov, you know, the blessing, you know.
Even before he got the blessing, man.
Yeah, God, you know, him killing his brother, you know, and his coronation as king, you know, Cain and Abel, yeah. But you know, this devil is just from the beginning, man. You know,
What, that songs?
yeah, hit that song for me. Yeah, then but now next, then we can come back around.
Yeah, but Psalms, I gotta start up.
Kind of good.
Psalms chapter 50, verse 16. But unto the wicked,
Mm-hmm.
the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Question mark. Seeing thou hatest instruction and cast my words behind thee, when thou sawest the thief, then thou contendest with him, and hast been a partaker with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. And then, like we were speaking about earlier, speaking those lies. You know, his tongue framing deceit. And this devil come out, as it said, the words of his mouth was smoother than butter. You know, but what was in his heart? That's him. When he starts speaking something real sweet, especially Trump, man. You know, he like the first thing he like to do is do this. Well, you know, well, war is in his heart, man.
That's it,
You know, he's speaking straight deceit.
You got something to do right there.
You know?
Yeah.
But it says, 20, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thy slanderest thine own mother's son. And who's that talking about? You know? Yeah, it says, verse 21, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes.
That's it. You know, it's a much that's gonna happen, but that's how cold the Lord is, man. All right, this whole time that you think that the Lord hasn't been reacting to things, you know. Meanwhile, your tab is already to the heavens already. You know, your tab has been needing to be paid, you know, but the Lord just been letting it go and letting it go, you know. And I think about it this way: you have to really hate somebody to let them get away with more and more things, so you can be even more pissed off at them and fuck them up.
Yeah, that's it.
Like that's some true righteous anger right there that the Lord really has. You know, not let this devil get away in any type of way, man. Like he can't run away from this ass whooping at the end of the day.
Can't run away with it.
Can't, brother.
That's it.
But it's like let me get the brother Banan, then we're gonna come back down.
All right.
This is going like Esau's nature and how he hasn't. He always was putting his foot on our necks like from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
This is Isaiah chapter 46. No, that's 47, verse 6. I was wroth with my people. I polluted my inheritance. You want me to, should I start with 5? It's Isaiah 40, this is Isaiah 47, verse 5. Sit down in silence and sit down silence and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. Verse 6. I was wroth with my people, I polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy, upon the ancient hast thou heavily laid thy yoke.
Hey, in the documentary, upon the ancient.
Yeah.
They spared not the old, the widow.
That's it.
All right, Jake was killing over, man. You know, starving people out. You know, and that's what this devil gonna do again.
Yeah.
You know, you got it.
Yeah, there's nothing new under the sun, man.
No new thing under the sun.
No new thing under the sun. You know, this devil gonna be this wicked, bloody devil that he is. That's what he's gonna be until, you know, we get him out of here after those 1,000 years. All right, you know, obviously, it's like, let me correct that a little bit more. This devil's gonna be put underneath us, you know, for those 1,000 years. But you know, he's still gonna have that record, and that we're gonna have that remembrance of what he was, you know, dealing, you know, with the nation of Israel. You know, like that's a stain that's gonna be on his name forever, henceforth, while he needs to pay for it. Okay.
So then it said he was robbing the people, and then it said he was given into his hand.
Yeah.
You know, just like he was given the earth, the fatness, and the sword, he was given those things. You know, as he was giving it to him, hey, the Lord come and take it back from him, man.
That's it.
You know,
More than right.
That's perfect.
That's it.
But you can hold it, bro.
Okay.
Jeremiah.
Psalm chapter 37 and verse 12. It said, the wicked plot is against the just. Okay. Once again, Psalm chapter 37 and verse 12. It said, the wicked plot is against the just and gnashes upon him with his teeth. So that's what he's doing. He's plotting, you know, putting his agenda into place. And everybody, we already know that teeth goes into his military, goes into his technology. That's exactly what he's rolling out right before our eyes. We already known about, like we said, about Hurricane Katrina. You know, he rolled in the military, we're here to help you, this and that. So he's plotting right now, once again, you know what I'm saying, against the just. Who is the just? That is the elect. Let me read that again. It said, the wicked plots against the just and gnashes upon him with his teeth, with his military, with his technology. He said, verse 13, he said, the Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming, so that day of judgment is coming, and recompense and judgment. The Lord said, I will repay. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. What was done to us, get ready to be done to them. It's almost payday. Verse 14, there's one more right here. It says, the wicked have drawn out the sword, and has bent their bow, to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. So we know we're coming upon what Jacob trouble, the one with the upright conversation, once again, is the true believers, a house of David, you know, it's at 1/3 elect. And see right now, this man is constantly plotting, constantly targeting people of color. You know, we here to make a crying better. We here to help you. Well, out here about it, they try to exterminate you. And one thing about the only way out of here is through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. He's that safe God, the safe haven. You got it.
You know, you see so many different ways that it's cold how the Lord do it, and it's sometimes you have to catch it at the perfect time. Like I remember, I forget, it might have been around when Trump first got into office, and they randomly just showed the sign of somebody holding up the NWO for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just signs like that you know the Lord always shows his devil playing card, you know, and what he's doing. You know, it's nothing that he can't get past the Lord. At the end of the day, as wicked as he is, but you know, for the knowing, the people that's in the knowing, you know, that's in the truth, and of the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the scriptures, you know, we can see these things and perceive that, you know, that this is the damn devil, you know. But Father, shall hit me with that Jeremiah?
You want to start at 22?
Get to the point.
This is the book of Jeremiah 13 and verse 23. Can an Ethiopian change his skin, or a leopard his spot? Question mark. Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to evil.
John. So read it one more time.
Come. All right, the book of The book of Jeremiah 13, verse 23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin?
No, the answer is no.
Or the leopard his spot? Question mark.
The question is no. The answer to that question is no again.
Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil.
Yeah. The question and the answer to that is no. You know, so you got 3 no's in a row of, you know, these are things that's just not going to happen. All right. So if you got 2 basic things of like, okay, yeah, this man can't change his skin color. Oh, okay, this is leopard. This damn sure can't change that. Now you got to have that same mindset of like, okay, this is the wicked. So they're in the same boat. They're in the same boat of these 2 things that we know that can't happen.
Yeah.
So that emphasizes more and more that this is a damn devil. He just can't change his ways. He can never get right. You know, he's the can't get right of the scriptures. You know,
Remember it says, if he do good, he do it unwillingly. He can't even do
He
it.
did it on accident.
I got something to back you up, man.
Somebody,
I got this. I got something.
Yeah, just gonna back up what you was going into, bro. Is Ecclesiastes 7 and 13. Consider the work of the Most High, for who can make that straight which he had made crooked.
yeah. So the wicked was meant to be this way at the end of the day. You know, he has no other purpose other than being the devil that he is right now. All right, and you know that's just how the Lord created him, and you know everything on this earth has a purpose. All right, and his purpose is happen to be again the whipping stick to get us, you know, and get us in the situation that you know that we've been through with this devil, but also you know for the Lord to come back and just completely obliterate him anyway. That's the purpose of even just being on this earth. You know, other than that, again, you know, I alluded to in the book of Obadiah, after their purpose is done, they're going to be completely just erased, you know, off the face of the earth. You know, you'll never see Edomite with the blood showing forth through his skin ever again. You know, everything's going to be operating how it needs to be done. You know, with the nations that needs to be, you know, placed on this earth. You know, for everything to run smoothly how it needs to go. But you can get your precept, brother.
Okay, bring out what y'all just brought up. Malachi chapter 1, and verse 4. It said, whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Said, thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord has indignation forever. So, you know, the border of wickedness, you know, that's what we're seeing right now. You know, the wicked, they doing their thing right now. The Lord will let till they be taken out of the way. So everywhere does man go, everything that he's coming forward with, you know, these unrighteous decrees, you know, these executive order, you know, it's full of wickedness. You know, but the Lord said, you know, the people of his indignation, that righteous anger. So the Lord's getting ready to judge his land. You know, he got vows that he cannot pass. You know, even though they built these damn these cities, these skyscrapers, these caves scrapers, you know what I'm saying? The Lord's gonna bring all that down. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna destroy this man kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The Lord's eyes is upon the sinful king. That's what's getting ready to happen. The Lord's getting ready to bring this man down. We cannot wait. You got it, man.
At the end of that verse, it said that who read that again? The border of wickedness, indignation forever. He said.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Said here, we start at the top again. It said Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. It said, wherein Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. It said, thus said the Lord of hosts. It said, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord has indignation forever.
You know, the point I want to harp on is that indignation forever. All right, this is the opposition of the Lord. You know, that the smoke will never settle. It's going to be up there until all of this is over with. All right, the indignation forever. That's some strong words of dislike for somebody. You know,
That's it.
Like brothers really got to get in that mindset of thinking, how much do you have to hate somebody to think that you're going to hate them forever?
That's it.
Like, you know, sometimes things pass, you know, even with some of your enemies in the world, you know, you might think and be like, all right, yeah, I could look past this. I ain't worried about that no more. I'm getting older. You know, I'm getting older and I'm moving on with things. But no, I hate you forever until the next life and the next life after that. You know,
Come, I was just thinking, you gotta think about it. The Most High live in time where it take 1,000 of our years just to even one of his years.
right?
So if he hates you forever,
One day.
man, one day Salah is 1,000 years. If he hates you forever, man, that's a long time. Let me see.
forever.
He will hate you the moment he start creating everything. Like, man, I hate that nigga.
They grace forever till that 1,000-year reign. After 1,000 years, he gonna be total eradicated. And said all the houses he saw shall be what's tough. That's what we coming to, you know. So you go ahead and do your thing, Esau. But it's coming to an end. Get ready for slavery.
Hey, but that's why he has the title son of perdition.
That's it. Destruction.
You know, the son of destruction.
That's it.
That's why the Lord gave you that title.
Yeah.
Because everywhere you go, all right, your track record is nothing but death and destruction. Blood.
Yeah, very good. Before the have too.
Okay.
You got to have
Again.
Yeah. Right. Hit the half back up there.
You too humble, man.
2:5. Is a book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 5. You want me to start at 4? Just
Straight to the point. Okay. Talk about.
This is-
Read it. I'm gonna hit it.
Okay. It's the book of Habakkuk the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Verse 5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Go back to 4 and stop at upright.
The Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright.
You know, and we brought out 2 precepts already, the book of Jeremiah and forget the other one. The Malachi, that's what it was.
I wrote that one too.
Yeah.
I wrote that one too.
Yeah. So
Like wickedness.
yeah, border wickedness. I think you brought out the straight from the moon.
No, I ain't bringing
You bring that up? Oh, kind. So like, but all right, then we're going to those precepts. But so like, read that again one more time.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
You know, ain't nothing to write about this devil, man. You know, that's plain and simple. There's nothing to write about him.
That's what I brought up, the who can be the street of the moon.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Ecclesiastes 7:13.
Con. Yeah. You know, keep going.
But the just shall live by his faith.
Yep.
Verse 5. You want to keep going?
Yeah.
Verse 5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death.
He transgressed it by wine, you know, his doctrines, you know, his wordplay. You know, brothers mentioned that, you know, his words are smooth as butter, you know, and his words are smooth as butter, you know, and, you know, just things that he put out is, it only concerns with death, you know, that's the only thing that comes out of his mouth, is dealing with death, and more death. All right, lies and death. That's the only thing that come out of this devil's mouth, man.
His policies, you know, his democracy, all that, man. You know, the executive order, all this stuff moving in there. Tell you a bunch of lies.
Hey, when you look at the definition of death, you see Esau Edom himself next to the picture.
Yeah.
That's a thief. He stole every damn thing. And
Listen,
everybody.
the nigga is as death. He is as death. He is death.
Yes. Finish it off.
And verse Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 5. And cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
So this devil will never be satisfied. As much wicked shit that he would do, he's always going to find, if, you know, obviously this is not going to happen, but imagine if the Lord allowed this devil to rule for another 1,000, 2,000 years. every year or so, every couple months, things are gradually get worse and worse and worse.
That's it.
All right? You know, he's never going to stop. You know, that's why you have you mentioned he's the cancer of the earth. You know, the only way to stop a cancer, you got to cut it off.
Let's cut it off.
Completely. You know? You want to say something?
Just back you about. For 2,000 years, we would have made that long with him.
Yeah.
Lord got to speed up time now just so we can get out of here.
God, for the
That's
election.
it.
You know, the Lord is speeding up the time for the election. You know, just backing up the brother. You know, but again, that's a different punishment in itself. You know, that's an extreme punishment for us to have to be here another 1,000 years.
That's it.
You know, that means Jake gonna have to be reincarnated about another 3-4 more times. You know, just to come through and just to, oh man, that's a nightmare. You know, never ending nightmare.
Brother, imagine the truth, us being in the truth until another.
Tell you.
Man,
Yeah, this nightmare to be over, man.
Yes, brother.
Because just like I say, you know, like that, going back in there to happen, you know, he be telling to all people, you know, basically going into that new world order. That's what this man is trying to do, is total control, man. So we see it with this man is lined up, you know, trying to put it into place, you know, we're not giving them the same advice.
Come. Real quick, you know, also with that all nations,
Yeah.
this is how wicked you gotta, how wicked can you be to also do this to your own people?
That's it.
Your own people, you know, these Edomite devils, they supposed to be living it up. They supposed to be living lavish on different, you know, we not even supposed to be nowhere close to them, you know? But we're above a couple of these devils out here.
That's
on
it.
how we operate. And that's all from y'all, you know, y'all higher ups. You know, and that's just crazy.
And this is their area.
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't make sense. But you want to say something else?
I was going to like kind of add on, like, you know, it says in, like, you know, quoting in the book of Matthew, it talks about if the days aren't shortened, there's no flesh will be saved. So if this devil is ruling longer and longer, like, everybody would fucking cease to exist at this point.
Yeah, brother. Yes. You know, you can see that all through the video games and, you know, the movies that they drop. Like, specifically the game I think about, I played at a game called Cyberpunk, and it's based in the future of 2077. You know, and it's like I always get this mixed up. It's the 5th Industrial Revolution with man and machine, or that's the 4th. It's like, but that game is all about, you know, people already transfusion with cyborgs and technology and so on and so forth. You know, but everything that you see is either technology or freakism. You know, and that's how the devil operates, man. Like that's it. Everything you see is something sexual or something, you know, crazy technical wise. And that's how the devil wants everything to be. You know, he wants to be able to control everything and show what he wants while still being a lewd freak. You know, that's his end all be all of a perfect king. Having control and being a freak.
The land of confusion.
Yeah.
So to have a man ruling who Job said he wouldn't even trust him around the dogs.
Right.
That's who's ruling right now.
That's it.
That's why what they have how to say it, animals who they turning the animals out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
From the people to the animals. Everything is just upside down, bro, because they have a ruler in charge who is a perverted
Sodomite, man.
like just everything in the book, bro. That's what he is. Everything negative. That's what
He
he is.
is the alphabet. He's
So,
the alphabet.
he's profane. He's outside the temple.
Yeah.
He gonna do the opposite of what the Lord will. You know, he's the damn devil. Antichrist. There's many antichrists. He can't do right.
Yeah.
The Lord got to take him on out of his misery and put him in slavery where he belongs.
Just can't get right.
Right. The original caveman.
God, give me with that
So for the
barbershop.
This is this Psalm 58 and 3. It says, "The wicked are estranged from the womb; they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies."
From the womb, man. You know, before it's funny, you know, when you just think about it, you know, in a comical sense. You know, a baby may come out crying or whatever. Yeah, get to just a joke. A baby may come out crying, but the wicked just come out lying.
Yeah.
Like, your first words was a lie. That's it. Like that's you know, that's funny to think about it that way. But you know, again, that's just a part of their nature, man. You know, this devil will never be right, you know, as long as he's on this planet Earth, man. And if we looking for righteousness, you know, that's a clear answer that he needs to be getting rid of. You know, the one thing that's not right in the land of righteousness don't make sense.
That's it.
And you can see he upright. He not upright too by look at bro, they have his people are as we in their kingdom, and they have some of their people and they beggars.
Yeah.
They bro, you could be driving, bro, and see homeless Edomites, bro.
Yeah.
Literally. That's not supposed to be that in your kingdom, bro.
Right.
On top of that, they also have the food polluted, the air polluted, which their people are consuming also. So they also killing their own people.
That's it.
This is Sirach 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? Question mark.
Yes.
He evil to his own people. So if he evil to them, he ain't gonna be good to himself.
That's it.
Oh, man. You know, this is, we stepped up again. But it's just common sense at this point, you know. Well, it's common sense says that if you have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right, that's how things just start to operate, and that's how the scriptures actually give you that life and that perspective of what's going on around you, you know, and that's what people lack. So, you know, our people who this is actually for, if they was into the scriptures and knew exactly what was going on, things would definitely be different. I'll tell you that, but that's not the case, you know. No, you got it.
Back up that brother beautifully. This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 10. It says, oh, 14, so like Proverbs 4:14, it says, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief. And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall.
Come on, brother, read that last. He said, read that last part
That's,
again, bro.
that's more.
Go ahead.
For they, verse 16, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief. And their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall.
Come on, man. That's the medicine at the end of the day.
That's fucking wicked.
Their medicine is wickedness, you know? Just how a fish needs water to live, and a land animal needs air to breathe to live, the wicked needs wickedness.
Yeah, to live.
To live.
Yes.
Like that.
Listen, brother, there's more. Wow, we saw verse 17. It says, for they eat the bread of wickedness, and they drink the wine of violence, man.
Come on, man. Esau go to the bar or go to the bar and order a shot of wickedness.
Yes.
Like, just give me wickedness straight.
Yeah, he look
You
on
know?
the wickedness. He look on the menu. What I'm gonna eat today? I'll take some wickedness.
Yeah.
With a
Extra
side
shot
of
of profane.
Raw. I want.
Extra shot of the profane.
yeah. I'll take some wickedness with a side of profane.
Wicked cloud.
You know.
Everything is gonna be raw and straight.
Yeah, bro.
Straight wickedness. That's all I need.
What do you want to drink? Well, violence.
Like, come on, man.
That's this double though, man.
Yeah.
Like the motherfucker, you can literally sit there and see him. Like you know how you can't, like you trying to go to sleep, you turn the other way, and you just fucking sit up and be like, all right, nah, I just gotta go fuck over somebody. You know? And once I do that, I'll be able to come home and go to sleep.
Sleep like a fucking baby.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Goddamn devil.
Yeah.
But hit that other roof from it, Vanilla.
Yes, brother.
This is 24.
24. Yeah, you gonna read that one.
This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they shortly your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory. With great glory.
Read it. Stop.
This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they shortly your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory and the brightness of the everlasting.
Stop right there. You know, so
they seen our captivity. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation.
All right, this thing is going to have to turn around at some point in time. You know, thus said the Lord. All right, we know that the Lord is coming back. You know, the Lord is coming back to destroy this place ultimately. You know, and get busy. You know, brothers could get that Isaiah 60, what is it? 63 diagrams about it. 61. Brother, somebody can get that.
61. Yes.
That's because you get to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, everything is going to have that turnaround at some point in time. You know, soon. You know, but keep going.
Verse 25, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from your powers. For thine enemy had persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck.
Yes, you know, and that's the day that we long for. All right. I believe that's in Sirach, when it talks about the joy of his enemy is in his children. Come. You know, but it says, my children suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from your power, for thine enemy has persecuted thee, but surely thou shalt see the destruction and shall tread upon his neck. All right, you know, so we suffer patiently through this thing. All right, and it's better, you know, that we have this understanding now, and that's allowing us to have that patience. All right, so imagine if we was in the world, we would be like these 2/3 that just don't know what the hell is going on. You know, just seeing things that's not going right and just completely lost. But, you know, one thing that they do is see these things, but just continue to fuck off and go into more bullshit. And still, I mean, ultimately just eventually just commit to the devil regardless, you know? But with this understanding, we know that we're in the right path of things that we're doing, and this thing is just gonna pass over, you know? It's just that we have to sit through and suffer the things that we're supposed to suffer, and, you know, we're gonna be back on top, you know, Kwame Nasrallah. But keep it over. God, yeah, we did that and get back to the root.
God, let's see right 25:7. There be 9 things where I have judged in my heart to be happy. In a tent I will utter with my tongue. A man that has the joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy.
Son, you know, and that first part, you know, and it's funny how the Lord do that. He add 2 things that and it's got to be a word for it that, you know, I just can't think of. What's it? Either opposite or very similar to each other, because in that situation right there, you know, the joy that a man has with his children, you know, that's a you know, hearing I don't have a child, but I hear that's a feeling of no other, to have your own seed, especially if it's, you know, a boy or so, or, you know, even jakes that, you know, love their daughters, you know, the same way that they love their sons. You know, I hear that it's a different feeling, but the next thing that he puts beside that is to see the fall of his enemy. So if these 2 things are comparable feelings, that's how beautiful, you know, that it truly is. You know?
Yeah, when you think about it, when you think about seeing this devil go down, you just like, man, I can't fucking, like, man, once I see, brother, once we see the devil go down, brother, you know, the feeling of joy and how elated, how happy we gonna be to actually see him in fucking chains, man. You know, to actually see the elites, you know, the ones who making the calls on the society, to actually put them in chains, man.
Yeah.
That give me goosebumps, man. We can't wait, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Just sitting there waiting for it, you know, waiting for that time.
Yes, brother.
You know? But Bible should keep going in that route.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 26. My delicate ones have gone rough ways and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemy.
Keep going.
Verse 27. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto Yahweh, Bashem Shai, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you.
Yep. Keep going. You get to read it out. So read to 30.
Verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray of the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
Where you start right there, just to get that point off, you know. So if it's our mind to go straight, you know, seek the Lord 10 times more. You know, that's what we supposed to be doing at this time in this grace period that we're in, you know. But continue.
Verse 20.
What you
I was about to say, because like the scripture say, I believe it's Isaiah, it said, in their affliction, they shall seek me early, you know, and we in our affliction, man.
That's it.
Hey, once we heard the word, we saw the Lord, you know, and still seeking him 10 times more every day, man, you know.
And also, he said, in the land of captivity, we shall remember ourselves. We know who we are. We know who our true power is. And also, we know who our enemy is. You know, so we ready.
Yes.
Get the hell out of this nightmare.
Yes, sir. But you got it, man.
Back in Baruch chapter 4, verse 29. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation.
Gone. What? Just finish it off. 30.
Verse 30. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee.
Gone. You know, the Lord, you know, he breaks, he's going to break, he's already been breaking us down, you know, but at the time is going to come for him to build us up. You know, that, again, that's the balance of how Shem Shai. All right, but again, we know that no such thing as free will. So, but we know that the Lord put these things upon us, you know, for the reasons being, you know. But again, he's going to come back and comfort us, and again, it's going to be like a nightmare that just passed over real quickly, you know. It's going to be like a quick dream, one of those dreams where you feel like you just close your eyes and you open it up and it's like, oh, it's over with, you know. But Proverbs 29:2, God, that's it for that.
Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So, but when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn.
People mourn, the earth mourn, you know, everything, all the above mourns, you know, when this devil is ruling, man. And that's why we need to get the hell out of here, you know. He's doing nothing but destroying, you know, this once paradise, you know, that it was meant to be. And it's continually doing a horrible job, you know. So, you know, the rulership has to change, all right? I believe they got one, I forget exactly what the book was, but it's something about one that is set up more profitable.
I got that. It's the right attention. I got that.
Good to get at the top.
It's a lot of good meat in there.
Go at the top. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
The new time, you can settle over the one that's popular.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Which is in the kingdom of heaven, you're gonna have a first what's the word? A first hand account, all right, of a wise man, all right, instructing his people, a prudent man. You see, go ahead.
Verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers.
Yeah, and you're going to see under Yahushua, all right, the governing body, you're going to see us be as Yahushua. You see, we're going to be well ordered, man. Go ahead, you guys got it.
And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Verse 3, an unwise king destroyed his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
So that shows you, you know, that the person right now is not profitable. All right, the person that's ruling the earth right now, you know, he's the person in verse 3, that unwise king that destroyed his people. You know, he's constantly doing nothing but just, again, what I just said before, just destroying, man. You know, this brothers brought out the man of perdition. You know, it's just a damn devil. You know, and we brought out again with that Proverbs.
Yeah, Proverbs 29:2.
Yeah, that everybody's just completely just mourning, man. So we need at some point in time, you know, on the other side, that the balance of the Lord is that rejoicing is going to come. You know, when that one that is profitable is going to be set up, all right? And it's going to be, you know, Yahweh Shai, you know, and the whole for elect, you know?
And it says, I think it's in Revelation 11, it said he would destroy him that destroyed the earth.
That's what I'm looking for right now.
Yeah, that's I think that's in 11.
I'm right here, brother. I cannot find it. You can't find it.
The precept.
You got one,
I got one, brother.
Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
Yeah, this is Nahum 1 and 3.
Yeah, that's like,
It says, the Lord Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked. Verse 2. Nahum 1 and 2. The Most High is jealous and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries and he reserveth wrath for his enemies.
his adversaries, and he reserved wrath for his enemies. All right, who is his enemies? First and foremost, you know, it's Esau, Edom, but you know that can also go into 2/3 of our people. You know, if you're not with the Lord, you're against the Lord at the end of the day. All right, but it says he reserved his wrath, you know, to these people.
Verse 3, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked.
Yeah.
So that means he ain't gonna get no pass.
No pass.
It says the Lord had his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. Without the point.
God, yeah, he would not equip the wicked. You know, again, which was the point. You know, but brother, could give me you got something else? Get Jeremiah 49:12. But we can start doing some precept.
I'm here.
Oh, time. Jeremiah, we're gonna come down the line.
All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49 and verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, that they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Question mark. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it.
You know, this devil, he's gonna have to drink that cup, you know, of God. That he's gonna have to drink that cup of slavery, of destruction, you know. Everything dealing with judgment from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right, this devil has to receive his reward. You know? Kind. But real quick, you know, brothers like to go into it in the book of Revelation. What was that? Revelation 20, was that 12 or 20? About the Lord coming back to reward.
Yeah,
22. Kind. Yeah, but you know, these devils are going to get a reward too, and every reward is going to be destruction. You know, but
Yeah,
I got something to back that up. Kind.
this is Isaiah 51 and 22. Thus said thou Lord, the Lord Yahweh, in our power that pleaded the cause of his people, behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury.
Yeah.
Thou shalt no more drink it again, but I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee,
Yes.
which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over.
Yeah. You're gonna make them drink the dregs, you know, to those to those that are afflicted you. Come on, brothers, you got it.
Psalm chapter 75, verse 8. It says, for in the hand of Yahweh there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture,
Yeah.
and he poureth out of it the same.
Yeah.
But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them.
You gotta drink the dregs, and what's the dregs? That's the every last bit.
Yes.
You know, every last bit. He's gonna have to get all of it. You know.
This is the book of Revelation 18 and verse 6. Reward her even as she had rewarded you, and double unto her according to her work in the cup which she had filled to her double.
Double it up.
Huh?
Go ahead, you gotta go through.
So that's, the Lord said, all the stuff they done, man, gonna have to get done to you, and they're gonna be done double.
Yeah,
This begs the point about them being the dread.
come, you know, but, anybody got something? You want to get these off real quick? I guess. We're gonna head off on you, man. You got another one?
I get the Levitation 21. Get to it right quick. Levitation chapter 4 and verse 21. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. So the cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked." So that's exactly what getting ready to happen. So we know that Esau Edom got with an expiration date for all this wickedness. This reign of terror is almost over. So it's your turn. We had to pay, you getting ready to pay. So that's what's getting ready to happen. The Lord is making Esau a fairer and better because of the exposure right there. Verse 22, it said, "The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. So he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." So that's exactly what's happening right there. The Lord is making an inquisition, you know what I'm saying? What was done to, you know what I'm saying, for the consequence of Zion, you know what I'm saying? The innocent blood that was shed, all of the atrocity, you know what I'm saying? Back in slavery, back in Katrina, right now what these red devils getting ready to do, you getting ready to pay. You know what I'm saying? You shed the blood of these Israelites, you got to pay for that. You don't know, let's get along, let's forget about it. Oh, I said, no, you getting ready to pay. You got it, man. You got it.
This is the book of chapter. This is the book of Revelation. Yo, chapter. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 10. "He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints."
The patience and the faith of the saints. Again, that well-balanced power, of this devil getting what he deserves, and that's going to be that sword, that's going to be that captivity, and for us, it's going to be that the everlasting rulership, the everlasting peace, that's going to come with that rulership that we have over this devil and having our foot on his neck, Right. But if that was it, everybody good? We pray that this live lesson was edifying, trying to get out of here when we give infinite honors and prayers too. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who taught us the truth. Peace and salutation to the holy elect, the archangel, the archwater, the brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. And Bible ball. Shalom.